Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It is exactly 8:44 a.m. This is News and Views with me, Julie Ali, and we are still sticking with the story in Sudan. The UAE faces genocide complicity charges at the ICJ over the Sudan genocide. The president of the Sudanese community in Gauteng here in South Africa and representative of the Sudan Solidarity Group in South Africa is going to give us his perspective on this story. He is based here in Johannesburg. His name is Khalid Dahab. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me just correct you there. I'm no longer the president of the Sudanese community. A new president has been elected, and I'm no longer the president. So I'm just a member of the community now.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for that correction. I just spoke a few minutes ago to a political analyst. He's a lecturer in political science at UNISA, and he's also a researcher at Media Review Network. He gave us his take on the issue regarding this matter being taken to the ICJ, the Sudanese people calling for an intervention to stop the UAE from supplying arms to the RSF. Are you in agreement with how this is playing out? And also, I'm kind of wondering, in South Africa, there is a large Sudanese community in South Africa as well. How do you view everything that is playing out?
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak on this. Unfortunately, I did not listen to the whole conversation that was going on, but from what I heard, I have to disagree with your previous speaker, and I have to disagree with you when you say the Sudanese people have taken the UAE to the International Court of Justice. The party that has taken the UAE to the International Court of Justice is the de facto government that is based in Port Sudan. Now, that government is not a legitimate government because it came to power through a military coup. And at the moment, that government's membership has been suspended by the African Union, and they are no longer members of the African Union at the moment. So you cannot speak of the Sudanese people taking the UAE to court, to the International Court of Justice. What is now happening is one party to the conflict, that is the de facto government in Port Sudan, is the one that is accusing the United Arab Emirates of genocide in a specific case against the Masalit people in the extreme west of Sudan, namely in the city of Al Geneina. The case is now before the court. The allegations that the de facto government has levied against the United Arab Emirates are now being presented and examined in the International Court of Justice. So let us wait and see. However, also from what your previous speaker was saying, he was portraying that the situation in Sudan was a democracy, and he was talking about political Islam's democracy, which is far from the truth. Political Islam has ruled Sudan from 1989 until 2019, and was overthrown by a popular uprising. It was a dictatorship. There was no democracy at all. that we can talk about during that period of Umar al-Bashir's regime. Since then, the civilian transitional government that was instituted was also overthrown by the military, which is aligned to the political Islam in Sudan. So at the moment, what we can say is political Islam in Sudan is not interested in democracy in any way, is not interested in civilian rule in any way. And as we speak, everybody else is being suppressed by the government, which is now aligned to political Islam.
Okay, thank you indeed for your perspective and for your point of correction on the matter. You will appreciate that different countries around the world, depending who you're aligned to, will obviously give you a different perspective on the story. And I'm glad that we've had Dr. Haroon a little while ago, and now we're having you to give your perspective on the matter, and also the correction regarding it's not the Sudanese people that have taken the UAE to the ICJ, but the current government of Port Sudan, who has taken the UAE to the ICJ, charging them or accusing them of genocide in a particular region of Sudan. How do you suppose this is now going to play out? Because there are different perspectives on the story. And as you've indicated, it is not truly representative of the people of Sudan. Is there anything apart from voices like yours, probably all around the world, giving your perspective to the story? What do you suppose is now going to play out? And let us understand from your point of view, what exactly is the UAE's role within Sudan and as far as this supposed genocide is concerned?
Well, the UAE is one of the regional players in the case of Sudan, and together with other regional players such as Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Ethiopia, maybe to a lesser extent. UAE definitely has economic interests in Sudan. UAE is probably the biggest buyer of Sudanese gold. And Sudanese gold is one of the main income generators for the country at the moment. United Arab Emirates is the biggest market for gold in the region, and as such, it has been very prominent in gold trade. We have on the other side, we have the Egyptians who are very much interested in the Nile waters because the Nile waters are their lifeline, and as such, they have very strong interests in the Sudan. As things stand now, we are seeing support from the Egyptians to the de facto government in Sudan, in Port Sudan, whereas the United Arab Emirates is giving support to the RSF on the other side. The reason being that the majority of the gold that is being produced is coming from the areas that are controlled by the RSF. And the RSF has one of the biggest mines in the country in Jabal Amir in Darfur. That may be one of the reasons why the United Arab Emirates is siding with the RSF.
Can I just come in there, please? So it is in fact true that the UAE is supplying arms to the RSF. That is in fact true.
I did not say that. I said they are supporting them, probably giving them diplomatic support.
And not
The
arms. Not
the
arms.
issue, I cannot say that because I do not have evidence that I can say that they are supporting them or supplying them with arms. This is merely an accusation that was leveled. That was leveled by the de facto government in Port Sudan, and the case is now before the International Court of Justice. Let us wait and see what will be the outcome of that. But yes, indeed, diplomatic support is being given by the United Arab Emirates to the RSF. There is no doubt about that.
Khalid, how do you explain diplomatic support? What would that look like to you when you're saying diplomatic support?
I think in many ways the relationship between the United Arab Emirates and the RSF in terms of the resources that are coming out, they are definitely trading with them. But equally, and that has been also confirmed by sources in the Port Sudan government. Port Sudan government is also exporting gold to the United Arab Emirates. So, in my opinion, United Arab Emirates, rightly so, as if you look at it from their point of view, they are playing for their interests, which is normal. Any government, any country will do things to further their interests. And I think the United Arab Emirates government is doing that by buying gold from both sides of the conflict. And maybe the RSF is using the proceeds of that gold to buy arms from various sources. That I cannot say because I do not have any evidence on that. But definitely, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia are playing a major role in the conflict in Sudan. By supporting one side or another, by also trying to mediate at the same time. We all know that Saudi Arabia and the United States of America, at the outbreak of war, tried to bring the two sides together for a ceasefire a number of times. However, these attempts did not come to any fruition. Other countries have also tried to intervene. There were talks in Manama in Bahrain between the two sides to come to some sort of ceasefire and maybe peace deal. The issue is, from my perspective and from the perspective of the Sudanese Solidarity Group and most of the political forces that are in Sudan, is we want this war to stop. We are against the war. We do not see that the war is the answer to any, is the solution to any of the problems that we have. The main problem that we have at the moment is the dictatorship that is in power, and we want to see a democratic civilian government to come in place to lead Sudan into the future. Like the young people of Sudan said in their uprising, the slogan was freedom, peace, and justice. And these are the three things that we want in Sudan.
Okay, let's go for an ad break. We'll be back with you in a minute or two, lots more to cover. I also want to touch on the water wars in that region of Africa. You spoke about Egypt, their interest in the Nile, but about the interest of the neighboring countries as well. So lots more coming up. Please do stay with us.
Sure.
Day by day. This is Salam Media.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
This Ramadan, make a conscious choice, sip for change, and support Palestine Drinks Africa. With every can, you help end the genocide and stand in solidarity with Palestine. Choose between our original or sugar-free options available in a case of 24. Every sip is a step towards justice. Every purchase a powerful message of unity and support for the Palestinian cause. Contact 082 888 1440 or 082 7739 556 today and be part of the change. Palestine Drinks Africa. Sip for change. Liberty for everyone.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
There are over 200 million orphans globally. We can't help all of them, but what if we each helped just one? The Al Imdad Foundation now gives you an opportunity to help just one orphan from Syria or Palestine. For just 500 Rand per month, you can help safeguard the dignity of an orphan by assisting them with basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and attention. Our orphan sponsorship program allows you to track the progress of your orphan through regular feedback. Make a difference in the life of an orphan today. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayer, where every detail matters.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
3 after 9 o'clock, welcome back. And a reminder that this hour is brought to you by African Muslims Agency. And don't forget, later on in the show, we are going to be taking a listen to the Fired Up series with Hafiz Imran Chunara. He's a personal excellence mentor and CEO of African Muslims Agency. So that we're going to take a listen to a little later on. We are still talking with our first guest, well, rather our second guest on the show this morning. That is you, Khalid Dahab. You are a representative of the Sudan Solidarity Group in South Africa. I have 2 or 3 questions to ask you before we wrap up. Let's understand the role of the Solidarity Group, the Sudanese Solidarity Group, not only in South Africa, but globally?
The Sudanese Solidarity Group is made up of mainly of people from Sudan who are resident in not just in South Africa, but in Southern Africa. Our aim is to support and call and promote democracy, promote for democracy and civilian rule in Sudan. That is the basic objective of this group.
And obviously, I suppose the objective of the group is the dream of Sudanese people globally. I guess that also leads me to my next question. What has happened? What went wrong in Sudan? What comes next in your mind for a free Sudan? And the most important thing as far as Sudanese people are concerned?
Well, look, in 2018, young people took to the streets against the government that was in place, the government of Omar al-Bashir. And for over a year, people demonstrated against that government, demanding, as I said, freedom, peace, and justice, the three main slogans, and demanding democracy. We suffered for 30 years under a very brutal dictatorial regime that was in place, led by Omar al-Bashir and the National Congress Party, which is another name for the Muslim Brotherhood. That government killed people, staged wars, isolated Sudan internationally, supported terrorism. We and the young people demonstrated against that government until it fell in 2019, in April 2019, and then a power sharing formula was put in place between the civilians and the military. And a transitional government was in place. However, as soon as that transitional government started working towards democracy, the elements in the previous regime and the Islamic movement started putting hurdles in front of that government until in 2021, in October, the military partner took over in a military coup and deposed all the civilians and the civilian prime minister at the time, Dr. Abdullah Hamdok. Since that time, there has not been any proper government in Sudan, and there has been turmoil. And then they led us into this war that the Sudanese people are not party to. And they have, the both sides, the RSF, which was aligned to the military at the time, and they were partners in that military coup in October 2021. They kind of turned against each other. It's a power struggle. The war has been continuing. It's the worst humanitarian crisis that the Sudan has ever seen. We have about 15 million people who are displaced. 3 million of these people are refugees in neighboring countries. The rest are displaced internally. We have seen atrocities from both sides. The RSF has been killing people, killing civilians for no reason. They have been looting, they have been destroying property, they have been destroying things, infrastructure. On the other side, the army, the Sudan Armed Forces, or the de facto government in Port Sudan, they have also been committing atrocities. They have also been destroying infrastructure. The situation is extremely dire. And the sufferers of this are the civilians, the normal and the ordinary people of Sudan who are not party to this conflict. These are two sides led by two generals who are power hungry and who want to assert their control over the country. This is now, unfortunately, leading to one of the sides. As I said, there is a de facto government in Port Sudan. The other side is now working towards instituting a parallel government in the parts that they control. Now, this, in my opinion, is a prelude to the breaking up of our beloved country, and we are definitely against that. We want a united, peaceful, democratic Sudan that is led by civilians and not by the military.
Okay, the situation does sound pretty dire, and I'm really, really sad to hear what exactly is going down there. And as you've indicated, the civilians, ordinary people like you and I, are suffering and taking the brunt of the situation where there are two generals fighting for power. Let me just move slightly away from the current situation, but perhaps my next question would also add to what is going on in Sudan right now. I alluded to the water wars a little earlier on. This is really about the Nile and the ongoing tensions and conflicts between Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan over the shared waters of the Nile. We also know that the primary issue revolves around Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and a large hydropower project that Ethiopia is constructing on the Blue Nile, a major tributary of the Nile. And then, of course, Egypt and Sudan are concerned that the dam's filling and operation will negatively impact their water supplies, as they heavily rely on the Nile for agriculture, industry, and domestic use. How is this situation adding to the current problem in Sudan?
Well, the issue of the Nile waters is an old one. The Nile waters agreement. First of all, let me say I'm not an expert on that, but I can give you some of the general views there. The Nile waters agreement was signed in 1929, but the problem is many of the countries who are signatories or who are meant to be signatories to that agreement are saying that they did not sign that agreement. Rather, it was the British, who were the colonizers at the time, who signed on their behalf. And therefore, they are asking for a renegotiation of that agreement. Whereas Egypt is objecting to that, because Egypt at the time was the only independent country of the whole region, of all of those Nile water signatories. Egypt has a certain share according to that agreement. And also there was another agreement in 1958 between Sudan and Egypt to build the Aswan High Dam that led to the creation of the what is known in Egypt as Lake Nasser and what is known in Sudan as Lake Nubia. Now the thing is, the Egyptians are getting their share, and they are getting also a large part of the share of Sudan, which Sudan is not using or utilizing at the moment. If the Renaissance Dam comes into full operation, what will happen is that share, that extra share that the Egyptians are getting, will not be going to them, because the Ethiopians are actually not using that dam for irrigation or for use of water. Rather, it is for generating power. The thing is, once they do that, the flooding, the seasonal flooding that happens in the Blue Nile will be controlled. So the majority of opinion in Sudan is that the Renaissance dam is good for Sudan, because that seasonal flooding used to destroy a lot of land and destroy a lot of agricultural land and a lot of residential land, cities and villages along the Nile. Now that will be controlled by, and therefore that seasonal flooding will not happen, will not occur. The Nile waters will be steady within the confines of the actual Nile. So the Egyptians are objecting because it will cut their share from the extra waters that they are getting, not their actual share as per the Nile Waters Agreement. You know that countries such as Uganda, Kenya, and so on have called, and they are continuing to call, for a renegotiation of the Nile Waters Agreement. And they have entered into their own agreements with each other on the issue of the Nile waters. Now, for Egypt, the most strategic issue for them is the Nile waters, because they do not have any other source of water apart from the Nile. And anything that touches on the Nile immediately rings bells in Egypt. That is the case. But like I say, I mean, I'm just giving you a very general opinion. I'm not an expert on this.
But I do appreciate it. It was quite interesting and pretty detailed, in fact. So thank you for that overview regarding the water wars in that part of Africa. Khalid Dahab, thank you indeed for your insights as a layperson and as a member of the Solidarity Group, the Sudan Solidarity Group in South Africa. We had two totally different perspectives on this story, one from a political analyst and one from you. And we do appreciate both viewpoints. And you, as the viewer and the listener, we assume you're going to do lots more of your own research and come to your own conclusions regarding this matter. Thank you once again. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pronounce his kun and let there be peace in all of the lands. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
16 after 9 o'clock, news and views moving along. Our next guest is probably going to be with us in a minute or two. And that is, of course, attorney Yusha Tayyub. And we are going to be talking to him about foreign nationals in Johannesburg being targeted by a so-called ISIS-affiliated extortion network. All of that and more coming up right here on News and Views.